Three, two, one. Welcome to the Buckhouse Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Benjamin Buckhouse, alongside Johnathan Buckhouse right over there. We are two brothers that get together once a week, just catch up, talk about what's going on in our lives. We've got a lot of common interests, including snowboarding, video games, football, sports, just social media, motivational stuff, self-help. We are all over the place with what we like to do and what we like to talk about. There's nothing that we're going to talk about in particular. We just jump on the podcast, start record. I don't even know what I'm saying right now, but what I do know what I'm saying is that Johnathan is a snowboarding YouTuber and he just went to Canada. What was up? What were you doing in Canada, bro? I honestly don't know what you were doing in Canada. Can you tell us about that?
So I was invited to go to Canada by a ski club called Peak to Creek. They have a bunch of members and they go on snowboard trips and they're like, hey, we'd love to get more members. Would you like to come advertise our ski club? And next year we'll do a trip, like a Buckhouse Peak to Creek collab winter trip, which is cool because it's not a snowboard camp. It's an experience camp thing. So they invited me out to come this year to one of their experiences. I wanted to go for the full day, but sadly that trip legitimately butted up with my Austria trip. And they were playing around with the idea of me going to Canada and then flying from Canada straight to Austria. And then I realized that Bobby would divorce me if I did that. So I went to Canada and then I flew home for one day, which was yesterday. I'm home right now, but I got to leave at 10 a.m. It's currently 4 a.m. So I'm at my house for 6 more hours. I got to pack and spend a little bit more time with my kiddos. And then I am off to Germany. And I really made Bobby mad. It wasn't my fault, but the Clue team, I was like, hey, when's the Clue House trip? And they sent me the dates, but they sent me the dates for the Clue House, but not the dates for the travel. So I was like, okay, I'll be gone for these 8 days. Lo and behold, that didn't include any travel days. And so now I'm gone for 10 days and Bobby's not very happy about that. But Canada was sick. I've never been to Canada. It's my first time going to Canada. It's very similar to the United States. You'll see a lot of the same retailers and car rental shops, fast food places, things like that. So it's not as much of a culture shock as going to Austria or Germany. The mountains are similar but different. The snow is very kind of Washington, Oregon but the mountains are just better. And we scored for sure. Apparently, I don't know if you've ever seen a cloud inversion where the mountain is higher than the clouds. Down in the valley is stormy and nasty, and then you go up the lifts and you get above the clouds, and then it looks like you're snowboarding on an ocean of clouds. It's the coolest thing ever. I'm sure Ben can be popping up a clip or something like that. I can send him a photo or whatnot. But
man, are you trying to make me edit some extra stuff in here right now? Is that what you're trying?
Yeah, I'm trying to make you do some work. But for anyone watching on YouTube, the cloud inversion stowaway was gorgeous. We did a powder cat day as well. So the issue is to get to Revelstoke, to get to a lot of mountains. It's you fly to the closest airport nearby, and then it's a 2 to 3 hour bus or shuttle or you get a rental car to get there. You're not really flying right next to these ski resorts, especially the really big rad ones. You have to take a shuttle in, and so the Canada flight out took 3 flights to get close. Thank God my return flights were only 2 flights. However, my flights out, one of them got delayed. So I was legitimately in the airport the whole day. And then same thing with returning back to the US, just long delays and things like that. So it's 2 days ago, I woke up at 5 a.m. or my bus was at 5 a.m. and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. So I was traveling the whole day, which I love traveling. I'm very blessed to travel, especially for free. But man, when you're in airports for 23 hours, you're just oh. And I do get a lot of work done when I'm in the airports and things like that. But it's a grind.
10 days to be traveling, bro. That's a long time. I don't blame Bobby for being mad at you. No, but no, that's a long time to be gone. I don't know if that doesn't sound necessarily fun to me. I'm that's a long time, but I know that you're gonna have a blast doing this trip, and I know that it's work, but that's a long time to be gone.
Yeah, last year I was gone for 9 days, and I was definitely ready to be back. So all of a sudden we have an additional day. But I do think last time there was only 4 days of snowboarding. I think there's gonna be a lot more snowboarding on this trip, which will be rad because it's like we have the house from the 2nd to the 8th, and they should be shredding throughout the whole thing. I think they might be trying to do like a day off at some day, but I'm gonna be like, yo, I still want to go ride or something because I'm out there 2 rides. And um, I thankfully that's the last on the trip on the books. I was supposed to go to Turkey, but they hit me up and they said that they were canceling that brand deal or whatever the project they wanted to do. So that would have been really cool. But come back and then it's like I do need to do some U.S. traveling this year and knock off some of the resorts on the Gold Ride every resort in the United States. But for the most part, I'm excited for this little travel window to get put to bed. But that's why we're podcasting right now. We're like, just so you guys know, me and Ben had to do some creative podcast work to make sure we could have episodes coming out each week because I was on the road.
Yeah, it's gonna be even tough the following week when you do get back because we're gonna have to podcast. But anyways, it's you're gonna have to do something nice for Bobby on Valentine's Day. That's all I know, bro. When you get back, because you get back the 10th, and then a couple days later is Valentine's Day. So you're gonna have to do something nice for her. That's all I know.
I do something nice for her all the time.
Shout out Bobby for being a trooper through this. I'll be honest, I've been having not just you guys, but everybody in my prayers. But I do pray for you while you're traveling. I pray for her while she's alone. Just to make sure that, like you mentioned, that the car doesn't break down or anything like that. I pray for you guys, make sure that everything goes smoothly.
Well, do me a solid and just give her a phone call at some point in this 10 days. Just give her a call. Just talk shit about me.
She'll love that. No, but
like Johnathan sus.
we should leave that guy. No, I'll call her. I really want to see you guys so bad, and I was talking with her about it. I was like, I want to do like a snowboard trip up there, but because I'm doing 75 hard, and I've been saying this even on the podcast for months now. You guys know how crazy life gets between Johnathan traveling all the time, and also Johnathan just being busy, and then also between me just being an adult and having my own stuff going on and my own dogs and stuff. It is hard to make trips, just like a weekend trip to the mountains, happen sometimes, and while I'm doing the 75 hard at the moment, it's almost impossible. So I was telling Bobby, I was like, I don't know if a winter trip will come anytime soon, but we do want to take one of like our 3-day weekends and come up to you guys in the summer. But maybe or not, we wouldn't be there for the whole 3 days, but just like because we have that extra day, take that advantage to come see you guys because I'm missing the kiddos and yeah, I just want to hang out, catch up, maybe do some work with you, things along those lines. But yeah.
No, totally. I mean, it would be cool too if especially when 75 hard is over for you, because there'll still be like late season stuff like in March. But you came up and go ride in the backyard. I could take you in the backcountry. You can go snowboarding and not have to spend any money. It's definitely possible.
That would be nice. To not to spend any money, that would be nice. No.
Sometimes I play around with the idea of like not even buying a season pass and like obviously snowboarding in my backyard, snowboarding in the backcountry, doing all the free types of snowboarding I've learned how to do. And then when I do ride a resort, it's like a free trip or the resort gave me free passes, things like that.
It would almost be, I don't know if you can make a whole video where it's like, I went snowboarding, because you've slowed down the amount of snowboarding that you do in general. I feel like because you need to so that you can edit and everything. But it's like, I snowboarded 80 days this season without a snowboard pass. Like what that would look like. And there are it's not that you didn't go to ski resorts. You're like, I am fortunate to get paid to even go to these resorts, or I do get free tickets to go to these resorts because of who I am. But, over 75% of the time, I'm getting on my snowmobile and I'm going backcountry, or I go in my snowboard park and my backyard park and do what I do. That'd be a really interesting kind of season for you.
It would be super rad. But I wouldn't say I'm snowboarding less. I rode 16 days in January, which is pretty good. And that's only that the only reason why that's so low is to the fact that I traveled so much. So I since today's the last day of January, I can fill out my whole schedule and know what was going on. And I rode 16 days with 1 day on my snowmobile, so 17 days on snow. I went to 3 different countries, and I accomplished one of my yearly goals in the month of January. And right now, I think I have like 8 goals on my yearly.
That is impressive. 3 countries in 1 month, 2 different continents. That's really impressive, bro. The other thing is that it's 3 countries in like 3 different trips. It's not like you took 1 trip and went to 3 different countries. So that's impressive. That is impressive. Also, you talking reminded me of 2 things. Number 1, I got a big calendar, but I haven't put it up yet. I haven't put it up yet, but I got a big calendar. I have it.
You're a month late. Get going.
I am, but no, I honestly got it, and then I just kind of got busy and haven't put it up. But no, I got a big calendar, and I plan on putting it, I believe, on that door right there. That is a door. It's a sliding door from my closet. But that way I can kind of like just have it and just keep moving it. But anyways, yeah, I got a big calendar. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's this kind of new trend, I guess you could say, or a new product going around that's a big calendar, and it's a whole year on one page that you get like print out, and you just hang it on your wall. So rather than like a month by month calendar, you've got just this massive calendar that you can visually see the whole year for. So I'm a month late on mine, but I do have it, and I need to get going on that. But the other thing you reminded me of is I need to write more goals. I've not been doing good on my goals, but something in hopes, or something I got also in hopes to change that, is a planner. And I have never been a planner person, and I want to change that. And so I got myself a planner. I like it so far. I don't fully know how to utilize it to the best of my ability, but I think I started doing better with it last night of putting in more information in it. So yeah, I'm stoked. I got a planner, and I'm really stoked about this. I hope that I shouldn't say I hope, I'm going to do better with writing down goals because of this little book right here, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where even if you write them down, you never look back at them. Somehow, subconsciously, like you knock them out. So I do try to put like to-do list, goals. I try to write stuff down. Um, I'm in my I don't even feel like a human months right now, if that makes sense. So like I haven't been journaling, haven't been reading, I've been gaining weight. I feel cruddy in a lot of ways, as I'm absolutely doing an absurd amount of human work. Or like we talked about last podcast, I'm like posting like 9 videos, 9 shorts a day, long form videos, like filming all the time. Like I'm doing a lot, but I feel like I'm doing nothing because I'm so busy. But I think I get that way because I am like like during December, January, February, this like my self-help stuff, like reading, journaling, working out, all that stuff goes on the back burner because there's just not that extra time. Like all my extra time goes to attention to the family. And so I always get in a bad headspace.
I mean this in a good way, bro. I hate how much you beat yourself up when it comes to this busy time, because it's like I don't think a single person here, including myself, bro, is expecting you to be hitting the gym every day or even like 3 days a week when you are, traveling to 3 different countries in a month, and you also are a father and a husband, and you're making, what, 4 or 5 videos a day. Yes, you are uploading more. You are uploading some of the same videos to multiple platforms, but you're making 4 or 5 videos a day, and you're putting it in the grind, and you're strategizing, you're checking emails, you're doing business, you're doing work, and you are traveling to go snowboard, which we talked about is burning so many calories. Stop beating yourself up, bro. Stop it, okay? You're doing.
I can't. I know I am, but I'm also like, dude, I can't not beat myself up. I like realistically, it's still is like my finances are still going down. Like and like that's where the beat up comes from, if that makes sense. Like I'm getting more followers than ever. I'm getting more views than ever. Like the vanity metrics are through the freaking roof. I'm doing everything I can and still making less money. And it's just like, geez, man, what is it? I know there's something out there. I'm still doing well, but like I'm as a business owner, it'd be like owning a physical ice cream store and more people are coming in and you're selling more ice cream than ever and you're selling I don't know, it's just like the store is popping and you're making less money in the ice cream shop than you did when you were smaller. It's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, we've talked about this on numerous occasions, and I there's a smell of change in the air, bro. There's a smell of change in the air. Change is coming, but
Do I get it every time I go to a different country? People are like, hey, America, good job.
I wouldn't necessarily say setting yourself up for failure, but you're not putting yourself up for success, bro. If you're
I had that thought yesterday. I honestly did this, and maybe if I could change my mindset to being more like proud and stoked, and like I'd probably get more done, honestly too. Because like when you're in that like mental like beating yourself up state, and you're like you could do more, you could do this, blah, and then you're so mad at yourself that you like slack off, or you try and like get out of the headspace, or you try to what's the word? Not cope, or like kind of like I might swipe some TikTok because I'm so frustrated. And instead of swiping TikTok, I could have edited it or something.
My question for you is, what good comes from beating yourself up? Like, what good comes from putting yourself down? What good comes from adding this stress? Because that's truthfully what you're doing. You are adding stress to your life. Now, sure, the financial, the finances, you not making as much, that could be adding stress to your life, but you are adding more to that by just beating yourself up about it or dwelling in that. So what are you gaining from it? That's my kind of rhetorical question for you.
I don't know. And but I also don't choose to do it. Does that make sense? Like I'm not trying to beat myself up. I don't wake up and be like, hi, dude, I want to be like, you suck, dude. You could have done more. Well, like I'm not trying to have that headspace, but like it is. Here's a good example. It's like, so I used to go live on my YouTube channel, and then I would pull $200 to $500 every live stream. I went live last night, did an hour, did everything I've always done, like hang out, answer questions, like be a good vibe, everything like that. Right, $5. Yeah, $5 donation, and it's like I didn't do anything different. I don't know. Times are changing. I don't know, but then you like it's hard to beat yourself up. Like, dude, what are you doing wrong with your live streams? Like, are you not as energetic as you used to be? Or are you not as informative as you used to be? Like, what are you doing different? And that you mentally get in your head just because like things have changed, or it's like just I don't know.
Big thing I noticed in what you're doing is comparing. Comparison is the thief of joy. You are comparing.
Dang, bro, you got me.
You are comparing your current
Checkmate.
situation to you're comparing your current situation
To the past, yeah.
to a
the
better
past.
situation. And the reality is, and we're not going to get into politics, but we are in a different situation in this world. We are in a different, people are in different financial situations. I'm in different financial situations. You are too. So, you can't be beating yourself up because you're not looking at it from a bigger picture of everyone in this, everyone in your audience is essentially dealing with these financial issues that we all are dealing with. You're not alone in this, Eggs are $36 for 60 of them. That used to be 12. It's literally tripled. Like, we are dealing with,
They
It's
killed all
like,
the chickens.
we killed all the chicken.
Chicken's cheap right now.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying though is that you're comparing your current situation to a previously successful situation that was in a different time. And then another thing I want to tell you is, have you ever heard the phrase where it's like, forgive your parents because it was it was their first time being a parent too? Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
So where I'm gonna try to like reverse this over to you, bro, is you know, this is your first time doing what you're doing right now. And I know what you're saying. I've done YouTube for 9 years. Yeah, you're right. You've done it for 9 years, but this is the first time you've been a YouTuber for 9 years. Like this is the first time you've experienced, you're at this point in your career with YouTube. So you are going to make mistakes. You are going to learn. You are going to have these struggle times, but that's okay. This is the first time you're doing it. You're going to figure it out. Just because you figured out a different algorithm in the past and that was doing well and then it stopped, that doesn't mean that you're not doing fine. It's the same thing with the stock market. That's the same with other companies where, they have their ups and their downs and they always come out on top, bro. Like you're going to come out on top. And don't beat yourself up. This is the first time you've done YouTube for 9 years. You're doing fine, bro.
No, totally. And then, like you said, the comparison's a thief of joy. So, like, do I have the finances to cover everything I need to? And like, are we good? Yes. Okay. And the finances might not be overflowing, but guess what? I went to 3 different countries for free. Like I am not spending money to travel at this current moment. Everything's been, the sheer amount of free goodies that I've been given, having like something I decided to start doing is tracking the free stuff I get and the dollar amount of it, because like in reality, like that is getting paid in a way, and that's absurd and stuff. So like, yeah, I do need to stop comparing. And for the listener out there, like I'm not complaining either. I guess it might sound like complaining. I'm real to my brother. I love to like open these up, and like it's very easy to try to play this like, oh, like I have so many subscribers and I do YouTube and my life is perfect and look at me, social media, where in a lot of aspects, I mean, yeah, like the routing aspect and where I'm traveling is perfect and rad and stuff like that. But like I'm human. I piss my wife off. Stress out. Like I'm so human. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's similar to the military, where military people on paper don't make a lot of money, but their housing is paid for. They get a clothing allowance. They get some food taken care of, and oftentimes their travel is I say oftentimes their travel, but like if they're moving, the military will pay for them to move. So there's a lot of benefits. A lot of perks to it. Health insurance is dirt cheap, so it's there's those benefits do matter. They matter. And like you're saying, when you're getting paid to go on these trips, or you're just outright having like this free travel and you're having phenomenal experiences at that, like like you were saying with your Italy trip, which we haven't really mentioned on this podcast, which it was what, like 2 weeks ago or whatever, but it's like, no, you went to Italy, which was a phenomenal trip. You said very nice, very fancy, and then you just went to Canada, and then now you're going to Austria. Like that's it to your average person, bro. That's pretty freaking sick. Like
sometimes I gotta tell myself, I'm like, dude, some people like this Austria trip or the Italy trip I just went on to, like some people that's their life trip. Like that's the one trip they take their entire life. Is that, So I once again, sometimes I feel like you definitely sound like a little whiner, complainer, but I just have very high standards for myself. That's a big reason why I'm where I am, setting high goals and standards and trying to accomplish as much and things like that. And there is a big added stress. Like me and Bobby are really actually like honing down and being like, hey, let's buy a place. And so like we're talking with loan people and they're like, hey, like pay these debts off. Hey, you need 15% down. And then like we live in an incredibly expensive area. So like that's a ton of money. And, so I'm like, well, can I do more, do more, do more, do more? Like,
What I want to challenge you to do, bro, is to work on gratitude, in the sense that be thankful for what you have, but also something that is very difficult to do. We've talked about in the past, and going back to prayers, I pray for when I'm praying to God, I thank Him for my struggles. I thank Him for my problems. And I actually the other day thanked God for my siblings and their struggles. I'm thankful that, like, here, I didn't say this over the prayer, but I'm saying it now. I'm thankful that your problem, bro, is that you are mad. Your problem is that you think that you're not doing enough, but you are extremely successful and you're killing it. You're providing for your family. And one of your problems is that you can't buy this expensive home in this beautiful place that you live. Like, that's your problem. Whereas other, your problems could be different. Your problems could be worse, but your problem is, man, I gotta buy him $3 million home. Oh no. Like that's your problem. Like, yeah, that does suck. But at the end of the day, that's a pretty good problem to have, to be like, I am going to own a beautiful home in a beautiful area. And so I just encourage you to be grateful for what you have, including your problems, including your failures, because your failures push you to become a better person. So that's my challenge for you, bro. That's gonna be my challenge for you this next month.
I'm definitely not in the market for a $3 million house. I'm not doing that well.
I'm just saying numbers.
Dang, bro, you think highly of me. Now, I will never forget the day that I was hosting my snowboard camps in June, and Bristol decided she was coming early. And I had to leave my camp and have friends come out and cover my camp for me. They were instructors and everything like that. So it wasn't like, everyone at the camp was still taken care of. But I remember got on the plane, and like it felt like everything was falling apart. Some people were canceling and moving to the next year, and like, it was a lot of work, and it was very stressful and like that. And I was on the plane. I'm like, dude, my stress, or like everything's falling apart, or like my struggles are because of something so amazing. I'm having a daughter, and so I was like, I'm so blessed to have my struggles. Like, and if the worst thing that's going on in my life is I'm having a baby, like that's a good thing, So, no, I'm actually, I posted literally twice. I had two like serious moments of reflection, and I just like turned the camera on and just start like, like verbally like to the camera saying like how like what was on my mind, like how thankful I was to be in Revelstoke, and seeing the views that I was seeing. I was standing on top of a mountain, like all by myself. It was such a crazy moment. And it's because I got up there and I was so in awe. And I just like, I was praying. I was like, to God, like, thank you so much for this opportunity. I can't believe not only am I in Revelstoke, how did I get to the top of the mountain by myself? There's no one up there for like 20 minutes. I had the whole top of the mountain to myself. And then there was like the reverse cloud thing. It was the most gorgeous like sunrise moment I've had in a long time. And I just got to like really enjoy that. So I made a video saying that. And then the other one I had was I was walking to Keystone, and I was walking the same path. We always walk from River Run to the gondola. We go left. Instead of walking through the village, you go through like the back alley.
Walk by the ski rink.
Yeah. And I just had this thought that I was like, dude, if 16-year-old, 18-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old Johnathan knew that this Johnathan was like walking this path, fully covered in sponsors, snowboarding for a living, like 30% of the people that see me at the ski resort know who I am. Like, if that dude knew that he would become this dude, like, holy crap, he'd be so pumped, And I just made a video like talking about how thankful I was, and that like sometimes you get so caught in the now that like you don't like look back and like, dude, look how far I've come.
Honestly, that was a really, really awesome like speech you had there, bro. Because I got some chills there thinking about it. Because that's the dream. I say that's the dream. It's a dream to a lot of people, and I'm kind of like thinking about it for myself, but it's like, to you know to make yourself proud is, or there's a phrase that I've heard before where it's like there's only two people that opinions matter, and it's your 5-year-old self and your 85-year-old self, where it's like, does your 5-year-old self look at you and think that's the coolest thing ever, and the 85-year-old self looks at it and goes, I'm proud of like what that person's doing. That person is doing all the right stuff, so it's like that's and I feel like both your 5-year-old and 85-year-old self was looking at you right now, bro, being like, damn, that's awesome. So
Oh yeah, dude, what a deep episode so far. We're in it. We're in
love
the
it.
we're in the field. I was getting a lot of good feedback on the podcast last night on the live stream. I had a
There we go.
couple listeners listen on the live stream, and they were like, "Is the podcast on Spotify?" I was like, "I don't know." Ben does it all.
It is on Spotify. The next thing I need to do is Apple Podcasts, and I'm so sorry if anyone is looking for it on Apple Podcasts. Please let me know. I'll put more effort into it. But I do just want to reiterate something that we are on episode 45 of the podcast, which is crazy, 45. But just want to shout out episode 44, 43. Episode 43. I'll have that up in the corner over there. Just go give that episode some love for us. It did not get pushed into the YouTube algorithm, so if you could just give it some love, we would really appreciate that.
I take full ownership for the tanking of that episode.
Jonathan's not allowed to intro podcasts anymore.
I was hyped. That was some of the positive feedback I got on the live stream.
Nah, it's for anyone that's considering checking out the episode. It literally starts with like a minute or two of some political talk, and then goes straight into a normal podcast. And I clickbaited the thumbnail for the politic reasons, and I think that is why it is not getting pushed into the algorithm. I should probably change the thumbnail. It is what it is, but no, it's a lot of fun. And if you want to get to know Johnathan, thank you. If you want to get to know Johnathan more on like a personal level, the podcast is a great place for that, because like we're saying right now, this is a deep episode. We're talking about Johnathan sitting here open up about how he's beating himself up every single day. A lot of people don't do that on social media. So I hope you guys are enjoying this real podcast that we have once a week for you guys.
This podcast has been huge for me this year because I don't have Cody, my editor. I've talked about this a bunch, but like, I don't have that person I'm with like on a day to day that I could just like, I would do this with Cody, like, dude, what's going on? Like, we just got 41 million views on Instagram, and like, I can't sell a sticker to save my life. Like, I would just like go through all of it with him, but I don't have that this year. But I have you this year. Once a week, I get to get on here and just like let it out. And I'm a let it out and move on kind of person. I can't keep it in, if that makes sense. I mean, I do it on this podcast. Like I just, if it's like bugging me, it's on like the front of my brain. Like I have to say it out loud to be able to like digest it and then move on from it and start taking action.
Now, venting is important. Getting it out there is important. I don't believe that, we're talking about complaining and all that stuff, but this is almost like a safe place. It's, yes, you are making complaints, but it's once again, you are grateful for what you have, but it's like, this is an area for you to be real with yourself, be real with your brother, be real with your fans on like what's going on, like, and just expressing your frustrations. But it's that way we can work it out. To be honest, I think that one thing that's awesome about this podcast so far was that moment of being able to be like, for me to give you that advice, that's like, you're comparing yourself, and you had that kind of, you accepted that. You were like, you're right. That is the problem, is I am comparing myself to, a previous time. And so having that opportunity to let it out and then learn from it, I think is awesome here. And I'm stoked for it. I love doing this podcast. I'm stoked for the future of it. I'm trying to put in a lot of work in the back end, guys. I really am. I'm putting in some extra work leading into we've been hinting at it by the season 2 of the podcast. So yeah, it's all over the place, but I'm super stoked for the future, and I hope you guys are too.
Well, and it's one of those things where what's the point of a podcast if it's not helping other people? And I really hope by like being honest and real and sharing my struggles and whatnot, people can, especially if they're on the up and up or trying to do social media, like take my lessons and learn. Because like that's one of the best ways to learn is to learn from other people's lessons and struggles. So then you can avoid them and not have to go through those growing pains on your own.
Yeah, I mean, what I've kind of thought about recently in a lot of like the self-help books that I read or listen to is that it's honestly just people that have self-taught themselves one subject for a very long time, and they're just sharing their experiences with you. My example of that is Atomic Habits, which is a very, very popular book. It's a very good book. If you,
I've read it.
I actually have listened to that one, but I've listened to it this is the third time I've listened to it. Listening to it right now, along with reading. Once again, doing 75 hard, so I got to read 10 pages a day. So I am reading at the moment another phenomenal book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That is the book that I'm reading. So I read 10 pages a night, and then on my drive to work or my drive home from work, I also listen to a self-help book. I'm really proud of myself. I feel like I'm diving deep into this stuff. I'm in it.
Happy for you, dude.
Thanks, bro. But for Atomic Habits, like the guy is just, he himself worked on his habits for a really long time, and then he had a what do you call that? Kind of like a blog, an email list where he would talk about habits, and then he kind of did some more studies into habits. And then all of a sudden, here he is writing a book about it, and it becomes one of the most sold books regarding habits. And it's just like he self-taught himself, and now he's sharing his experiences with you. He's sharing his failures, his successes. He's sharing other people's stories of how they were winning and failing, and what they did differently, and how just like sharing experiences. And so I hope that people can gain that same experience from this podcast of like going through this point of your life and sharing just what's happening and how it feels. You're not the only one that's struggling financially right now, bro. There's millions of people out there, millions, that are also struggling financially. So maybe they can take a piece of advice from this and also grow from it.
No, totally. I mean, life is crazy. And it's also like so unfair. Because once you like, it's so, I think the right word is relative, or like my struggles or things I'm frustrated about are like not struggles or anything to other people, but they're struggles to me, or their frustrations to me, but there's people that like their frustrations or struggles, they can't find food, or, or they legitimately can't pay a bill, they say I can pay my bills, but it's like being aware of like, of that for sure.
Exactly. I think that we're kind of talking around in circles. So what I would like to transition into is, last week I mentioned editing a Halo video, and that is exactly what I did. I made a Halo video, got it edited, got it uploaded. I actually uploaded it last night. I was up till 11, woke up at 3:30. I got to go to the gym after this and then go to work. It's grind time. I'm here for it. But
bro.
I'm
proud
in it.
of getting that video done.
I'm proud of it. I'm stoked on the thumbnail. But no, I'm proud of this video. But my purpose here, and if you're not interested in video game talk, try to just hear kind of the general idea of this, because it's the direction I want to go in, and I think it's still a cool conversation. And that is, my video that I made was, so in video games and competitive video games, there's these things called, sorry, 1 second. Sorry about that. So I have, so when it comes to these esports, there's teams that are called orgs, esports organizations, and they're usually just a group of people that run it, and then they essentially get a roster for a team, similar to like a sports team, that then go in, they get their sponsors and they pay for them to go compete and travel and all this stuff. And it was a dream of mine to do that. It was a dream of mine to become a player for an esports organization and be a professional athlete in the esports world. But admittedly, I don't necessarily have the drive for that, but also I don't really have the time. You got to put in 8 to 10 hours a day doing that. And at this moment in my life, I do not have the time for that. So with that being said, I was like, how can I still live that dream, but do it somewhere else? That's, I want to own my own esports organization. And one reason why is I think that I can make a lot of changes in the esports world. There's a lot of bad stuff that can happen out there, such as an organization, their CEO was embezzling a bunch of money and they ended up closing down, but all of their athletes were owed money, but he embezzled it all. And so it's all the money's gone. And it's like, these people are expecting literally tens of thousands of dollars and it's just gone. And I'm like, that's so messed up. And it's so infuriating, but it was also so motivating where I was like, I'm going to go do this. So the video I made was a bunch of esports organizations and Halo, did a bunch of roster changes. People were switching teams, all that stuff. So I discussed the breakdown. The new season is essentially getting launched in the next couple of months. Actually, today, the day of the filming of this podcast, they are releasing like the schedule for the season. So I'm stoked. I really want to dive deep into this. I considered being and I say consider because once again, timing of stuff, but I considered being a coach for an esports team. That's what I'm kind of considering at the moment, because I both think that I can help them out in game, but my goal is also to help people out of game in the sense of we're going through the self-help journey. I'm getting in the gym physically and I'm working on myself a ton, and I'm really into like mindset changing and habit changing and all that stuff. I really think that I can make an impact on a lot of people's lives by being a coach for a gaming experience, but helping them outside their life as well and helping them out with their health and becoming a better person. So that's where like the direction I'm trying to go in. And by me making these YouTube videos, it's going to help make a name for myself and help people realize the value I bring. And hopefully that then, makes people want to be a part of my organization. So that's the direction I'm going in. And I'm really stoked about it. I'm really happy about it. I hope you can hear that in my tone of voice and everything. I'm stoked.
Well, one angle you could do, especially for this season, is just kind of be like a news person for the Halo community, in the sense that like you talk about all the roster changes. You talk like when the schedule comes out, like make a video talking about the schedule of the upcoming season, and then you could even make a like heading to Orlando for MLG. Here's 5 tips to better your experience there, and then or like make a like, all right, like coming into this event, Space Station Gaming is coming in as the number 1 seed. So there's this that thing. It's like talk the bracket for a second, and then you can also do your prediction video that you said did very well. And also just like really dive into the world where even though you're not competing, you're talking, you're educating, and you're sharing what someone that would be really interested in, and also you become this voice of respect in the community, which then opens up doors. And also you can start interviewing some of the players on the teams. Like, hey, heading into Orlando, like I got to talk with Space Station, like Team Space Station, on a podcast episode, or like I got on the phone with them for an hour and then got to talk like what they think their strat's going to be or who they're most worried about. Like, and it's just start interviewing each team prior to the events and like dropping little podcast things, like, and that just kind of gets you into that world, and you will learn so much prior to then being able to like launch your own little thing. There's so much, like, I know with Halo, it's kind of like taking a backseat in the world of video games. I know there's so much opportunity to become that person.
No, I actually wanted to move in that direction, bro. So there's a company that streams or helps stream Halo. So let me put it in the perspective of so there's you got YouTube that you can stream to, you got Twitch that you can stream to. If you guys don't know what Twitch is a streaming platform like where you put live streams or you go live on. It was originally made for gamers, but then it kind of opened up to a bigger world of things. But Ninja, a lot of people know that name.
Hot tub live streams.
Yeah, hot tub live streams. But Ninja, like he streams on Twitch. Like Twitch is a place for streamers to go to. So but this company is essentially like in a sports analogy, it's like a different broadcaster. So if Halo has a tournament, they're going to be streaming it to their channel. They are Fox, let's just say. Well, LVT, that's what it's called, LVT. They are essentially the, NBC. They're just another broadcaster. They'll be streaming more often than not different stuff than what the main channel is streaming, like a different side of the tournament, but they also will stream the same stuff. So anyways, what I'm getting at is they are just a group of guys that like started this, and they've been just broadcasting these Halo tournaments and just doing well, and they keep trying to increase their broadcast. I've hit them up in the past and just nothing ever came of it, but yeah, they built these like they have people come in and be announcers on their broadcasts and all this stuff, but they're just people from the community. And I'm like, I need to get myself in that situation. So I need to keep making this content, keep adding value to the community, to put myself in a situation to where I can, the LVT is gonna be like, hey, we want you to come work for our team. And so now I'm in the world of gaming. I'm in the world of Halo, and I'm on, honestly, the biggest platform of Halo is LVT at the moment, because they stream constantly. They stream every single day, whereas Halo streams only when the tournament is happening. So it's like LVT is like the platform to be on at the moment. So it's like I just have to keep building in that direction, keep adding value to the community, keep giving good input, and then I can get on that, and then that's going to just lead into more stuff. So I most definitely have thought about that a ton. So
It'd be sick if you ever got to the point where you could announce some of the tournaments and things. Like, you could get there, bro.
it'd be so cool to announce the grand finals. Like, but honestly, like what I want to do, and I was talking about this with my old teammate actually just 2 days ago, but it's like, I want to build a environment that's different for gaming. And what I mean by that is gamers are not traditionally the healthiest of people, and people listening might be like, well, yeah, that, like, you're in your guys' mind, a stereotypical gamer might just be this overweight fat kid. And yeah, like that does tend to happen. But if you actually see a lot of professionals, like professional esports players, a lot of them are actually jacked and not fat. Like some of them are like overly skinny, but some of them are jacked. And so it's not like, that's not the stereotype. But what I was kind of, my example is, and I'm not trying to be a bully here, but one of the best players to ever play video games is a guy named Formal. He's jumped from video game to video game, and he's always just been the best at it. But once again, I'm not trying to be a bully. I'm not trying to beat him up. But the truth of the matter is, Formal is overweight. He's a bigger guy, and when he started, he wasn't. He was a healthy looking person, and then he put some weight on. I'm not here to rag on him about that, but the other thing is that he's addicted to cigarettes, and he dips. If he's at an event, he can't be smoking all the time, so he puts tobacco dip in his mouth and all this stuff, and you can just tell that it's not a healthy environment. And oftentimes he's playing video games from the night prior till literally 6 a.m. the following day. Like, he is not living a healthy lifestyle, but he is one of the best in the world. And my thought is if the younger generation is idolizing this person, they're like, this guy's amazing, this is who I want to be, but he has all of these bad habits, and he's honestly not the best physical influence on these kids. Like, that is what I want to change. I want to build an environment where it's like, if you're going to come work for my team, like, we're serious, we're professional, we're going to go to the gym in the morning, we're going to build an environment of success, not only in game but out of game. And that's the direction I want to go in. So going back to being a coach, that's what I want to do, is encourage my team to be reading these self-help books that can change their, like, particular stuff about like habits, because if you change your habits, or if you read about these habits, not only is going to help you out of in real life, it also can affect your habits, the way that you treat the gaming, and that's only going to help you even further. So that's the mindset I'm in at the moment. I want to just be a positive influence in this gaming industry, and I'm stoked, dude. I'm stoked.
All right, bro. Start getting after it. I believe in you.
Well, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I know I just rambled a bunch and talked to a lot about gaming, but I think we got to start wrapping up the podcast right about now. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Jonathan's camera just went crazy. If I'm the only one talking right now, sorry. Just end it. Okay, well then I'm gonna go ahead. It sounds like Jonathan's camera just shut down, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up for us, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for being part of this conversation. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being you. Thank you guys for listening to us complaining. Thank you for everything, guys. We really do appreciate it. Once again, this was episode 45. Please check out our other podcasts. There's a whole playlist I'll have up in the corner. And yeah, I know that I'll say, got anything else to say, bro? But he ain't got nothing else to say. It's all about me right now. But we will be saying peace.